In a future not too far from our own, silence reigns. Not the peaceful kind of silence, but the kind that comes when voices have been stolen and stories erased. The year is 2137. In this word, books have been banned. Not just restricted, but erased. Burned from shelves, deleted from memory, and forbidden from being spoken aloud. The reason? They said books were dangerous. That knowledge made people question too much, dream too much, resist too much, and they were right, because knowledge is dangerous. It is the spark behind every revolution, the seed of every great idea. Knowledge doesn't just inform, it empowers, and that is what they feared most. The global authority controls every stream of information. What you see, what you hear, what you learn, all filtered, all managed, all safe. History is rewritten. Science is censored. Even language itself is reduced to essential commands. Curiosity is treated as a defect, imagination a disease. But under the city of Noctura, buried beneath what used to be the Grand Library, something impossible survived. A whisper, a story, a spark. Her name was Elira, a woman raised by stories in a world that had forgotten them. Her grandmother, once a librarian, passed down more than bedtime tales. She passed down truths, the kind you couldn't unlearn. Truths that made you question. Truths that made you feel. As Elira grew older, she realized the stories weren't just entertainment. They were maps to freedom. And if the government could erase books, they could erase people just as easily. So she made a decision. She went back to the ruins of the Grand Library, a hollowed-out monument to knowledge. Beneath the floor, she found a forgotten maintenance tunnel, and there she began to rebuild a library. Not a digital one. Those could be hacked, altered, wiped clean. A real one, with pages, ink, dust, soul, and one by one, others found her. A former teacher who remembered how to read ancient texts. A boy who memorized entire books to preserve them in his mind. A girl who carved coded poetry into the walls of abandoned buildings. Together, they became the secret society of rebel librarians. By candlelight, they copied pages by hand. They preserved science, poetry, history, philosophy. Not just fact, but ideas. The kind that made people think. They hid books in toy chests, sewed them into jackets. Some carved data chips into buttons. Others disguised stories in song lyrics. They became ghosts, shadows, keepers of truth in a world built on lies. But the authority was always watching. They called Elira the ink ghost, a myth, a threat. Eventually, they found the tunnels, the books, the flames returned. Elira disappeared. Some say she was captured. Others believe she escaped and still walks among the ruins, passing stories like fire from hand to hand. But one thing is certain, the society survived because knowledge can't be killed. It can be hidden, twisted, outlawed, but it can't be destroyed. Knowledge lives in people, in whispers passed from parent to child, in symbols scratched into alleyways, in the quiet moments when someone dares to ask, why? And in that question, in that spark is power. Power to understand, power to resist, power to change the world. And the lesson? Never underestimate the power of what you know. Because knowledge, once awakened, never goes back to sleep. In every era of control and silence, there are those who will rise. Not with weapons, but with wisdom. You don't need an army to start a revolution. Sometimes, all it takes is a story. So, if you believe in truth, if you believe that knowledge belongs to everyone, not just the powerful, then maybe, just maybe, you're already part of the resistance. Keep learning, keep questioning, keep the stories alive.